This is an interior video tour of our 1976 45-foot Cecil Lange offshore cutter. I'm Brian Marotti with Waterline Boats. We're starting all the way up forward here in the forward cabin, which has a single berth, ample storage and shelves and lockers, drawers, and a very large anchor chain locker, a great place for storing line and other items. This space is also intended to be a sail locker as well, and there's plenty of room for those. This gives you a look at the construction of this boat. This is Port Orford cedar hull that's been epoxy glued, and the exterior is epoxy sealed with Dynel cloth, making it a composite construction. We're looking inside here now at the main space of the anchor locker. Looking back now from that locker into the cabin, you'll see there's lots of teak inside of this boat. There's a companionway overhead hatch that leads to the foredeck, and this is a flush deck design, so this whole space up here is quite large below decks because the deck is teak above and without a cabin structure. Here's a look at, again, a large hanging locker with shelves for storage, and a look at the hull structure itself. Very heavily built with laminated deck beams and heavy shear clamps. So moving back now from that space, we're into the midship on the boat, which has a double berth to starboard here, a good sized berth. And it has storage in shelving and lockers outboard here. Again, you can see the construction of the boat. And it also has a interesting lee board concoction. You can put a board between there to make it into two single berths. This is a drawer storage. You can see the floors are painted plywood. The floors have snaps in various places on the panels, as though carpeting was intended to be snapped in there by at a previous time. Opposite is the head compartment, and this space has a marine head. Now it's not a legal marine head. It needs to have a holding tank installed and have the toilet replaced. It's inoperative. The sink is a manual faucet with sink and mirror. There's storage in the space as well, and a sitting shower space where you have the ability to take a shower with a seat in there. Imagine if you're underway in any kind of seas, it would be nice to have a place to sit down and take a shower. This boat is set up for pressure water, but pressure water is not hooked up to any of the spaces except the galley sink. And deck prisms overhead, as you saw, let in a lot of light. You'll find those in all of the cabins. That's the teak door, that very large door that closes the head compartment off for privacy. So back in the salon, now this space does have the cabin and the overhead beams, and it's a very large space. Again, this is a 45-foot boat, so this space is very large. The galley is good sized, has a 4-burner propane stove with oven, a sink that's both manual and pressure water. Again, that needs to be, electric pump needs to be wired. It's plumbed for that. This is a cold plate refrigeration system that is inoperative. It used a compressor that ran off the engine to chill the cold plate. That compressor, we don't have that on the boat, but it could be replaced, and a compressor could be also installed to work from conventional electrical power rather than just the engine-driven power. This is an old school boat with manual systems that are easily repaired if necessary and don't require electricity, like faucets and things along that line. Large bronze cast port lights that all open in this space. It's a large dinette that converts into a sleeping space, a double berth. Look again at the flooring, access to the bilge below here, tankage. There's a quarter berth aft here that is set up right now as a seat and some storage, but it's a quarter berth, and the engine room. So it's a space below the cockpit, and it actually has standing headroom, remarkable for a sailboat. Looking back at the companionway, you'll see there's some carved teak doors in the companionway. And there's a navigation station with both VHF, loudhailer, single sideband radio, and radar. This boat went across the Pacific after it was built and spent a number of years in New Zealand. Went through the South Pacific. It's a folding seat for working at the navigation station. And a look back into the interior of the boat. So we're going in the engine room now. I'm going to step inside. You can stand up in this space. There's a workbench with a vise for self-sufficiency if you need to repair something underway. This engine is a Yanmar, a 3-cylinder, 37 horsepower industrial engine. It's again very self-reliant. It can be hand started. It has a compression release for doing that. So that's the engine room overview, and we'll move back to take a look at the exterior again. I'm Brian Marotti. You'll find more details at waterlineboats.com. Thanks for watching.